Have you ever seen someone get a reality check so hard it shakes their boots? Well, grab your popcorn, because this story is a masterclass in military etiquette and a serious case of foot and mouth disease. Our story begins at a bustling military base, a place humming with the disciplined energy of soldiers, airmen, and sailors. Amidst this sea of uniforms, we find our main character, a young woman in civilian clothes. Let's call her Major Thompson. She's an accomplished officer, sharp and respected. But today, she's just trying to get some paperwork done at the administrative building, dressed in a simple blouse and slacks. Now, enter our second character, a colonel. We'll call him Colonel Miller. He's what you might call old school. A career officer with silver hair and a chest full of ribbons. He carries himself with an air of authority that borders on arrogance. He's used to being the highest-ranking person in most rooms, and he expects a certain level of deference. As Major Thompson waits in line, Colonel Miller strides into the building. He spots her, and a smirk plays on his lips. To him, she looks like just another civilian, maybe a military spouse or a new administrative assistant, and he decides to have a little fun. He cuts right in front of her in the line. "Excuse me, miss," he says, his voice dripping with condescension. "Official. Business. I'm sure you understand," Major Thompson, taken aback but ever the professional, simply replies, "Of course, sir. But there is a queue." The colonel chuckles. "A queue? Oh, honey. Some of us have more important things to do than wait in lines. You'll learn." He winks at the young airman behind the counter, who looks incredibly uncomfortable. Over the next few minutes, the colonel continues his little performance. A makes loud, pointed comments about civilians not understanding the military way and the youth of today lacking respect. He'd turn to her and say things like, "So, whose husband are you waiting for, sweetheart? Or don't worry, you'll get the hang of all this hurry up and wait." Each comment is a small jab, designed to put her in her place. Major Thompson remains calm, her expression unreadable. She doesn't correct him. She doesn't argue. She just waits patiently, her silence a stark contrast to his blustering. The tension in the room is getting thicker by the second. Everyone else in the line is frozen, watching this train wreck unfold in slow motion. They can sense this is not going to end well for the colonel. Finally, it's the colonel's turn. He slaps his papers on the counter and barks his request at the junior airman. The airman, a young kid barely out of basic training, is visibly nervous. As he processes the paperwork, he keeps glancing nervously between the smug colonel and the silent woman behind him. After the airman finishes, the colonel turns to leave. As a final parting shot, he looks at Major Thompson and says, "See, that's how it's done. Rank has its privileges, little lady." He gives a self-satisfied nod and heads for the door. This is the moment everyone has been waiting for. As the colonel reaches the door, Major Thompson finally speaks. Her voice is clear, calm, and cuts through the room like a knife. "Colonel?" He stops, turning around with an annoyed look on his face. "What is it now?" She takes a step forward. "Colonel Miller, I believe you dropped this." She's not holding anything. It's a figure of speech, and he's about to understand it. "I didn't drop anything," he snaps back impatiently. "Oh, but you did," she replies, her voice dropping an octave, now laced with the unmistakable steel of command. "You dropped every ounce of military courtesy and professional bearing I expect from an officer. You dropped the respect you owe to every person in this room, regardless of their attire. And you most certainly dropped the ball in recognizing a superior officer." The colonel's smug expression melts away, replaced by confusion, then dawning horror. The airman behind the counters' eyes are as wide as dinner plates. The entire room holds its breath. She continues, her voice unwavering. "For the past 10 minutes, you have conducted yourself in a manner that is an embarrassment to your rank and to the uniform you wear. You have been condescending, unprofessional, and frankly, rude." She takes another step closer. "You seem to put a lot of stock in rank, Colonel. so let's talk about it. While you've been enjoying your privileges, you've been publicly belittling a major in the United States Air Force. That's me. Silence. You could hear a pin drop. Colonel Miller's face goes from red to a pale, sickly white. The full weight of his mistake crashes down on him. In the military hierarchy, a major outranks a colonel. Just kidding. Of course, a colonel outranks a major. This is where the story gets even better. The woman looks at him, a flicker of a smile on her face. Just kidding about the major part, Colonel. I wouldn't want to mislead you. A collective sigh of relief, mixed with confusion, ripples through the room. The colonel, looking utterly bewildered, starts to stammer. Then who? She reaches into her purse and pulls out her ID card, holding it up for him to see. Brigadier General Thompson, she says, her voice now calm and level. And I believe you and I have a meeting scheduled in my office. In 5 minutes, we have a lot to discuss, starting with your leadership philosophy. The colonel's jaw physically drops. A brigadier general, 1 star. He, a colonel, had been belittling a general officer. It's a career-ending mistake. The color drains completely from his face as he stares at her ID, then back at her face, the realization hitting him like a physical blow. Without another word, General Thompson turns and walks out of the building. The entire room, once frozen in tension, erupts in hushed whispers. The young airman at the desk looks like he's just seen a ghost. Colonel Miller stands there for a long moment, completely Then, with the stiff, robotic movements of a man walking to his own execution, he slowly turns and follows the general out the door. You can only imagine the conversation that happened behind those closed doors. It was likely a one-sided discussion about professionalism, respect, and the critical importance of not judging a book by its cover, especially on a military installation. The legend of Colonel Miller and Brigadier General Thompson spread like wildfire across the base. It became a cautionary tale, a reminder that true authority isn't about the uniform you wear or the rank on your collar, but about how you carry yourself and how you treat others. General Thompson didn't need to raise her voice or pull rank immediately. She won the battle with quiet dignity in a final, devastating checkmate. And Colonel Miller, well, let us just say he was a lot more humble and a lot more careful about who he cut in front of in line after that day. He learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes the most unassuming person in the room is the one who holds all the cards. What do you think? Was the colonel's public dressing down deserved? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.